This ZX10 Masters Cup action is proudly brought to you by Red Square for ultimate activation. Hello and welcome to the Windy City. Yes, it's Port Elizabeth for the final 10th round of action in the Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup. It's the Aldo Scribante circuit, and as always, the spectators are lining up the embankments. That is why we call it the Windy City. You can see those flags already taking a little bit of punishment. The riders are going to have to hold on for dear life out on track. This is the practice sessions. JACQUES in the slipstream there. That's going to be a vital part. Trying to get the setups ready for the race day. Ever-changing conditions here down at Aldo Scribante. Les from Bidar down there watching Graham from Bidar, just giving him the thumbs up, watching those lap times. Michael Smith comes into pits, makes a couple of changes there to that machine. Like I said, so many different various conditions these riders have to put up with the wind and the brake markers changing at every single lap. Safiso Temba, he heads out of pit lane, getting in those vital laps. Graham from Bidar, your new 2019 champion. Can anyone beat him here at the 10th and final round? Down the front straight, you can see those riders being just held by the wind down the front straight, holding on. So all about getting into turn one. It's very tricky. Like I said, those brake markers change every time. It's a headwind and it's a tailwind that they've got to contend with. Safiso Temba getting that big frame of his somehow tucked behind the screen with Graham from Idar on his tail. The checkered flag comes out, Henk scaling across the line. He's got a lot of racing to do in the saddle. As always, a great family atmosphere in the pits and on track here. Great to see those lighties here. But let's get down to the pit lane and catch up with all of our riders for the day's racing.
Hi everyone, this is Safiso Temba, rider number 63. Welcome to Aldo Scribante. It's been a hell of a season. This is the final round, and I'm sure my mates would want to say hi to you.
Thanks, Safiso. I'm Ian Harwood, number 24.
Hi, I'm Aubrey Marais, number 48.
Hi, I'm Action Jackson, number 21.
Hi, my name is Graham from Radar, number 41, ZX10R, and I've got the red plate.
Hi, I'm Johan Leroux, bike number 44.
Hi, my name is Henk Scaling, number 69, and I'm sure some of the other riders also want to chat with you.
Thanks, Henk. It's Guy Didcott. I'm riding bike 88.
Hi, I'm ACKERMANN, bike number 10.
Hi, my name is Lafras Fritz, number 28.
Hi, I'm Michael Smith, number 49.
Hi, I'm RUAN OBERHOLSTER and I'm number 34.
Hi, I'm JACQUES, bike number 43.
Thanks to everyone for joining us at Aldo Scribante this weekend. I'm Jonty Collard, bike number 11.
So here we go then, Johan Fourie just waiting for the final call from the organisers to let our riders out on track. Those fresh Bridgestone tyres have been fitted. 2 races up for grabs here for these guys. ACKERMANN all the way from Cape Town, ready to do battle there with Johan Leroux and Action Jackson waiting in line. JACQUES second in the championship, going to be hunted down by that man, Michael Smith. Safiso Temba getting his aero lid on, ready to do battle for the final time this year. Ian Harwood, the Bridgestone man, puts the visor down. Those tyre warmers are on. You need those heat in the tyres because the wind is blowing here, so track conditions won't be prime for these riders as they head out on to the track. There it is, red flag. They're lining up on the start line, ready to do battle. Joining me as always is Dave Peterson. Oh, do I see a little bit of rain on those visors there?
Well, that's what's happened. The weather's turned because of the wind. In fact, they're predicting big rain for today. Jonty Collard saying, well, what do we do? Do we ride? Do we not ride? Don't forget, they're on semi-slick tyres. Now, look at the rain. Yep. This is still the warm-up lap. They've had the sighting lap. This is the warm-up lap. I don't think, look at that. With these tyres, it would just be crazy to go out there and try and race in these conditions. The problem is, they are predicting later today that the weather is actually going to turn worse. So do we take a chance, go straight away? It doesn't look like it. Ian Harwood's saying, I'm not doing this. So let's see what happens. I think they're going to just go back into pit. There's Johan. Right, they're going to go back into pit lane, maybe give it a bit of a gap and see what happens. Yeah, they're just saying it's too slippery out there.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see what unfolds here at the final round down in Port Elizabeth. As you can see, the rain is now bucketing down, so everyone back into pit lane. There is Johan Fourie just talking to the riders. They're going to shift the program around a little bit, send the cars out. So join us after the break to see what unfolds here at the final round of the Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup. Welcome back to a very tricky Aldo Scribante circuit in Port Elizabeth, and it does look like that rain has just cleared off ever so slightly, so the riders have headed out back on track and they will get their race one underway. On board here now with Johan Leroux on his Aberdeen racing machine. Graham from Idar will line up in pole position once again. Looks like he's got Michael Smith and JACQUES alongside him. The conditions have cleared up perfectly now to go racing for the first time. Red lights are on, they'll go off, and we'll be under starters' orders. It looks like a brilliant start there from Sifiso Temba. Also, RUAN a little bit further back. Henk Scaling as well. Graham from Idar Legard doesn't look too happy with conditions at the moment. Michael Schmidt gets the whole shot into turn 1.
Well, look at that. And you can see Graham from Idar taking it a little bit easier, Rob, because I think conditions aren't perfect yet. It stopped raining, but there might still be some damp patches around the track. So they're going to check that out and see what happens. Usual suspects up front, but look at these bikes as they stream through that left-hand king and then into the ultra-fast right-hand hanger bend. Look at it on board with Teddy Brook. He's doing well over 200 km per hour at this point.
Yeah, and the camera angle doesn't really show the elevation in that turn as Teddy Brook looks to go on the inside. You don't want to be offline now. You can see that dry line has certainly formed with the cars going out there, making the track nice and dry, but don't get offline. There are still some damp patches. Michael Smith taking full advantage of the conditions. He's checking out at the front. JACQUES in second, from Idar in third, and there's a good little battle going on further back there. You can see Teddy Brook trying to make the move from Idar on the inside, leg out again. Jonty Collard, that four-way train now at the front, just pulled away from the rest of the field.
Good start from Jackson as well. Action Jackson, we call him. Great start in the red leathers there, so he'll be looking for a good result. Ian Harwood dropping back a little bit. We're on board with Ian. Sounds like he might have a bit of a bike problem. Oh, and Guy Didcott just screams past him. I think Harwood's just taking it easy, also sussing out the conditions. We know he doesn't like it until the conditions are absolutely perfect. Out front, Michael Smith has pulled a few bike lengths. Behind him, JACQUES, then Graham from Idar. Look at this big dice that is going on. RUAN Oberholstler at the back of this group. Fantastic to see them flying around this track.
Yeah, Jacques ACKERMANN all the way from Cape Town. He's in the mix there as well in that second group. This is the leading pack though, with Michael Smith out front, JACQUES there in second. From Idar, then Jonty Collard hanging on to the coattails of that leading group. Just those riders at the back, you don't want to take it too easy because you need to try and get the heat into those Bridgestone tyres and keep it there. So if you ride around too slowly, you're not going to get the heat. Whoa. All four riders, rear wheels spinning up, smoke pouring off. From Idar trying to go on the inside, can't make it stick there, but what a shot that was. These guys are not hanging around despite the conditions.
The pace they're going at the moment, they're down into the 1 minute fours almost immediately. There's Henk Scaling, bike number 69. He's just behind Ian Harwood, and just ahead of them is Sifiso Temba on board here with Johan. Oh, wow. Jacques ACKERMANN from Cape Town almost does him on the brakes. Very late here for... Well, he's got a problem. Yeah, he's off the track. Oh, dirt tracking in the first race. He'll be hating that. He just lost, I don't know how many positions. Out front, no changes as yet. But look at this guy still going on behind. And it's a fantastic ride from ACKERMANN. He really is flying.
Yeah, that was really good riding. You see, Johan Leroux, maybe the windy conditions. I talked about those brake markers changing. Just broke a little bit too late down the front straight. Got it all kinds of out of shape, as does from Idar. But he makes the move, stick on JACQUES. So getting comfortable now with the conditions is your new champion. And he's going to close down on Michael Smith. Jonty Collard, this is the best ride we've seen from him all year. He's still right in there. He has the replay on board now perfectly with Jacques ACKERMANN. You can see he lines it up going into turn 1. Johan Leroux on the left will get his braking all kinds of out of shape. He's not going to get that bike stopped.
Way too late.
And straight he goes. And they're still going to, that grass is still going to be very wet. So he did very well to hang on to that. But here comes from Idar now, starting to put pressure, leg out, MotoGP style on Michael Smith on the inside. Can't make it stick there. This is one of the better rides. Michael Smith, the second part of the season, has been the man on form. And to be leading this race is epic stuff. Teddy Brook there, right on the back end of Jacques ACKERMANN. And they're trying to hunt down just ahead of them RUAN Oberholstler. So it's a really good little battle going on there.
One board here with Teddy Brook as they go through the S-bends. You can see, bit of a mistake there from ACKERMANN, but look how he gets on the gas. Teddy Brook almost brake tested as they went up towards the hanger bend. Right, Van Breda, will he be lining up Michael Smith? It does look like he's going down into Chevy. He won't do it there. Maybe at the final turn, that's where he likes to run up the inside. Let's see what happens as they come out of this fast Chevy sweep up to that final turn. Van Breda looks like he's lining something up. Is he going to jump on the inside? Maybe not this time.
You got to be careful. There's those dotted wide lines in the middle of the track on your brake marker. So to try and get it lined up there, especially when we've had the conditions we've had, that'll be really tricky to do. Henk Scaling, he's done about 150 million laps this year, competed in every single Bridgestone Challenge race and ZX10 Cup. So really a man
and
on
he's doing the PE 200 later today.
Van Breda on the inside, and we've got a change up for the lead. Bike number 41 that is turning to number 1 next year is now at the front. Oh, Michael Smith runs a little bit wide. JACQUES trying to put it on the inside, and Jonty Collard just now suffering to stick with the pace of our leading 3.
Van Breda will put his head down now. He's wrapped up the championship. This is really just for the glory on the day. He does love the circuit. Right, we're back down into turn number 1. ACKERMANN.
Aubrey
Marais. Great ride from Aubrey Marais. Haven't seen him up that far. And right behind him is Teddy Brook.
Henk Scaling now.
The field, Henk Scaling.
Johan Leroux, the
Right,
recovering. He got his brake marker right this time going into turn 1, so he's making up a couple of spots there. And Ian Harwood now finally got some heat into those Bridgestone tyres on board with him here into this tricky chicane. You can see Johan Leroux, he's got a different kind of pace. He'll make short and quick work out of Henk Scaling. But Ian Harwood's got to try and up his pace now to get ahead of Scaling. Jacques Ackermann, all kinds of sideways.
Brooke
Teddy
on the
Brooke,
inside.
that's way too tight. You're not going to make that move there, but he's able to hold it. But Aubrey Murray, like you said, this has got to be a contender for Rider of the Day, no doubt.
Safisa Timber goes through as we look at the tail of the field. He's going through now. Johan Leroux starting to charge through the field. I say charge. Looks like he's taking it rather easy. I think maybe that out-braking maneuver that he did caught him out, and he's just thinking about that. Van Breda is pulling away and up on the inside. JACQUES goes on Michael Smith. Another change up. Michael Smith battling a bit on the brakes there. Earlier laps he was pulling away. Now these guys, I think they've found their pace. And Jonty Collard is coming back.
Aubrey Murray glued to the back end of Jacques Ackermann as they come onto the front straight. Action Jackson, he's got Lafrage Fritz and Guy Didcock for company there onto the front straight. So really good little battle. Look at the lean angle these guys are getting. Guys, it was racing about half an hour ago. You do know that from Breda, all kinds of out of shape. He's really got to grips with conditions. And JACQUES now, Michael Schmidt, can he get himself? He's on the podium. That's where he wants to be. But can he go one better and charge ahead of JACQUES? Can Jonty Collard in the final stages now get himself onto the podium?
I think Jonty might just be out of it at the moment. A bit of a gap there, but Stefanetti Stocks, Graham from Marais getting away at one hangover rate, but the dice is on for second. Michael Smith and JACQUES will be looking at it saying, okay, one of us has got to get the glory here today. And Michael Smith, he's looking rather tasty right now.
Yeah, heading into the 2020 season, Michael Smith is one of the in-form riders. You can see a couple of laps then remaining here for these riders. Michael Smith will be taking this confidence and momentum into 2020 and look to put himself as a contender for the top 3 in the overall championship. His job now, though, is to try and get ahead of JACQUES on this final stages of this race. Can't do it there. It's going to be very hard. We know how late on the brakes JACQUES is, and he just closes those lines. So to try and make that move, Michael Smith is really going to have to get that calculator and try and be a tactician here to get that done.
Maybe down at the hip, and as we know, Jacko, he's the king of the late breakers. That's just further back. Jonty Collard in no man's land right now, but we've still got Jacques Ackermann having a great ride with. Behind them, I see Lafrance Fritz also on the road, so good ride from him.
Yeah, Teddy Brooke also up there with Aubrey Murray, but here's that battle for second place. Michael Smith, he is really lining himself up here. He's put himself in the prime position to do it at the last corner. Will he get the drive now coming out of this left-hander? Going to light up those rear Bridgestone tyres. You're going to see smoke pouring off third gear, back into second gear for the final turn. Is he going to be close enough? But
up
again,
inside, he
does make it stick. That is a brave move.
Very brave into that final turn, but he got good drive out of Chevy right here. Jacques Ackermann, he's got away from that Teddy Brooke dice, so he's in no man's land, looking for the last lap board. And look how dark it's getting, Rob. Hopefully this race is over before that rain comes down. And JACQUES once again on the brakes. We're in the last lap. And I think there Michael Smith left the door just a little bit open. JACQUES says, thanks very much, I'll take this one. 20 points for me in the bag.
Yeah, a little bit of racecraft not being done there by Michael Smith. You cannot leave the door that wide open on the final lap. JACQUES, he will gladly take that. That's what he's done. Now, can Michael Smith fight back? This is where he's got good momentum. He's not going to be able to do it on the brakes going into the tight right-hander. Look at this massive dive. There's RUAN Oberhauser. There's Guy Didcott. There is Lafrage Fritz. And there is Johan Leroux right on his tail. A couple of laps ago, he was heading back to Joburg, and now he's in that dice just ahead of Safisa Temba.
Good ride from Safisa. He's hanging on to that group. Fantastic. From Mara, I think he's got this one covered. Right, here we come. Final turn. This is for the podium. Second position on the podium. Ooh, good ride from Klaus that time around. And I think Smith tried to go around the outside. That could be a mistake. We'll see as they come down towards the checkers. But Graham from Mara, what a brilliant ride. Has a quick look over the shoulder as he spots that checkered flag right here at Aldous Crabanti. Will take that win. Just looking out for that second. Close manages to hang on to second. And Michael Smith in third place. Dropped off a little bit on Jonty Collard. I thought he might close a bit at the end, but waving all around saying that was a fantastic race. Official results there. From Breda on the Stefanetti Stocks bike. JACQUES, Michael Smith, Jonty, C-Tech Papa's Pizza Ovens, Jacques Ackermann on the Mad Max Kawasaki, Teddy Brooke. They're in sixth ahead of Aubrey Murray, First Digital, and RUAN Oberhauser, great in eighth place.
Let's head down to pits and catch up with some riders. And this was a really intriguing battle, a little bit behind the leading group. RUAN Oberhauser and Action Jackson were bar bashing all the way through the field to the checkered flag. So let's head down to pit lane and catch up with RUAN first and hear his thoughts on that race.
Yeah, it was a fun race. Had to get used to the conditions first. The tailwind made me have to brake a bit earlier than I was used to, so maybe a bit scared of the guys coming past from behind. But all in all, great race. Just want to say thank you to Les for what he's done on my bike. It's a great bike, had a great weekend. A PE, what a lovely track. Love it.
It really was an absolute epic mid-pack dice. Let's hear now from Action Jackson.
Yeah, it was a very good race. It was a little bit of a different race from when we went out about an hour before that in the rain. The track was a lot better. The guys were a lot faster this time, and it took a lot more effort to try and keep in the pack. I think the guys have definitely done enough today to warrant a good race season.
Time for some refreshments for our riders. Join us after the break for the final race of the 2019 season. Welcome back to the Aldo Scribante circuit. It is the final race of the 2019 season from the most successful two-wheeled motorcycle racing championship in the Southern Hemisphere. It is, of course, the Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup, and Junior Smith there just getting some laps in, and no doubt we're going to see him in future years to come. As you can see, the crowd still hanging around despite the weather. Some used and new Bridgestone tyres ready to go for the final time in the 2019 season. You can see the clouds have cleared away, so that's brilliant news for this final race of the season.
Waiting for the lights to go up. The lights go from red to nothing, and we hit down to that turn one. Who got the whole shot? Was it definitely a good start and a better start from Jan Leroux this time around? Can he stop it on the brakes though? Oh, up on the inside. Kind of stuck right on the curb there. You can hear he can't get on the gas now.
He was trying to just dive on the inside, old school block pass style. Is he going to do it on RUAN? Alberhauser going into the chicane, not able to do it there. Just got his braking marker correct that time around. Johan Leroux doesn't want to do all that work as he did in race number 1. Ian Harwood with a much better start. He's right onto the back there of Aubrey Marais, who didn't get the start that he did in race 1. Teddy Brook and Johan Leroux just ahead of him, but it is Graham from Redar out front. JACQUES, Michael Smith, Jonty Collard, Jacques ACKERMANN. Let's see if he can hold on to our leading 4 riders.
See Aubrey Marais with his patter crash helmet as they come out of that hairpin, down towards the Chevy, sweep into 3rd gear, then he'll go back to 2nd for that final turn. Harwood, much better start this time around, looking rather tasty right now. But from Radar has already pulled a few bike lengths. He did say between the races he's looking to maybe try and get the lap record at this Aldo Scribante track. So he's got to get down into the 1-minute 3s if he's going to do that.
Yeah, that's
much better from Leroux, much better. Look at that.
Much better. Johan Leroux is in the slipstream there. Is he going to make a move on Alberhauser going into turn 1? Teddy Brook pulling out of the slipstream. It's 3 abreast as they're going to turn 1. Jonty Collard trying to make that same move on Michael Smith. Couldn't make it stick. From Radar trying to take that lap record away from Stuart McLeod. That is how long that lap record has been standing here, a 103.1. And these are almost perfect conditions for him to do it. The track temperature is perfect, not much wind around. Let's see if From Radar can pull it off on those Bridgestone R11 tyres.
And the wind has changed direction slightly, so they're not going to be caught out on the brakes. Oh, look at that. Michael Smith, great move as they went in there into 2nd position. Jonty Collard hanging on to them this time. He's saying, I'm not letting you guys out of my sight.
As is Jacques ACKERMANN. He's just a little bit array there in 5th place, but he's got that toe. Oh, Collard very well out there. You can see he's pushing so hard. He's lacking about 2 or 3 tenths on those leading 3 riders, but he's doing everything he possibly can to stick there. Look at the lean angle these guys are carrying. Really loving conditions as we go on board now with Teddy Brook into the final turn. He's still got Johan Leroux and RUAN Alberhauser just ahead of him.
Rob, you'll notice on the floor there, this is now the start of the drag strip.
I
don't think it's a very clever idea to have a drag strip in the middle coming out of that corner. The riders are saying, boy, you cannot go over that rubber. You've got to be ever so careful.
It's very slick over that rubber. If you've ever done it before, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. But now look at this. Jakku goes back up into 2nd. Oh, Guy Didcott. That's not going to work going into turn 1. Action Jackson, that's not the start that he wanted. He's behind Sophie September. And there is the bright yellow suit of Ian Harwood. He's going to get a nosebleed up there.
I think Gareth Jackson must have made a mistake because he was sort of mid-pack and suddenly he's right at the back. He must have made a mistake in this race.
Yeah, he's still nowhere near the RUAN Alberhauser. He was dicing with RUAN in race number 1. Teddy Brook on the inside there of Aubrey Marais. So Marais has also made up a couple of positions. Ian Harwood just behind them on board with Sophie September. Look how much these riders have to work around this Aldo Scribante track. Getting off the side. This is into the hairpin. He's going to get on the gas. 2nd gear. Square that up. Short shift up into 3rd. There we go. And into the left-hander. You really do have to work hard around this track. Look at Graham from Redar. Has he done it? Looks like lap record is gone now. Graham from Redar has the new lap record here at Aldo Scribante.
Well into the 1-minute 3s. By the way, Sophie September, big news. New team for next year. might be joining up with Clint Seller's team as well, because don't forget, they're going to be running at the national days as well. So looking forward to some new combinations for next year. This is a good dice going on for second place.
It really is. And the Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup, they really do deserve that national title. So looking forward to that in the 2020 season. There's ACKERMANN just fallen off the pace of it. There is the man we were talking about, Sifiso Temba. Bigger and better things coming from him in 2020. Henk Scaling still holding off the charge there from Action Jackson. So he just can't make any headway to that mid-pack with the front of the field. Jonty Collard, we said he was just losing a couple of tenths. He's right in that battle for the podium now.
Well, one of these riders is going to lose out on the podium. So Jonty Collard's thinking, doesn't want to be that man. So Jonty Collard is trying ever so hard. Just look how he's picking it up coming onto the main straight. Pretty good there. Runs over. He's not scared of that rubber that's down on the track. Johan Leroux, much better ride from him this time around. Managed to stay on the brakes as well.
Yeah, RUAN Oberhauser is now ahead of Aubrey Marais. So Teddy Brooks got to the front end of that battle. There he is coming onto the front straight. So RUAN Oberhauser just dropping a couple of positions from that brilliant start. From Breda is checking out at the front here. JACQUES going a little bit defensive. Here comes Jonty Collard on the inside. Can't make it stick there, but he can sniff that podium. And what a way to end what has been a very impressive season from Jonty Collard if he can get onto that podium.
JACQUES just controlling from the front of that group. Look at them as they stream down that straight. So great colours and great styles of these riders. Guy Didcock trying to go up on the inside once again. I think he's just got to break a little bit later. He might pick up that position.
Yeah, Lafarge Fritz going a little bit defensive there. Sifiso Temba right on their tail. On board here with Ian Harwood. You flick it right, you flick it left. Get a little bit seasick there from these elder statesmen. Second gear, short shift that third and try and carry the momentum through the left and through hanger sweep. And these riders already coming out of the left-hander into the final turn. That is the pace that they've got. Collard, much better line, squares it up. A big dark line left on the Aldo Scribante track there from Jonty Collard, who is pushing oh so hard. Michael Schmidt, he's got to contend with trying to keep Collard at bay, but trying to attack JACQUES at the same time. Jacques ACKERMANN coming under pressure now from Johan Leroux for that fifth place.
Johan Leroux's caught him in that last lap. Leroux's really pulled the finger out this time. You can see that black rubber on the road as he goes between the two marks, and now does he catch him? Jacques ACKERMANN's bike looks pretty strong.
Sounded like Johan Leroux just missed a gear coming onto that front straight. That cost him a lot of time. Now RUAN Oberhauser is not letting go of Teddy Brook, and here comes Guy Didcott, literally just decided to race on the day, and here he's challenging now Ian Harwood as they come onto the front straight, going to try and climb into that slipstream. We go on board here with Ian Harwood. Look out for a big Guy Didcott on the right hand side to potentially put it on the inside. The TLP racing machine, is he going to lose a position? Going into turn one, he's doing everything he can. He's braking very late. How are you going to get that turn? Guy Didcott making a new line here going into turn one.
Guy Didcott. Well, Freddie Van Niekerk used to do that, run up the inside, and sometimes he used to use the dirt on the inside as well. Guy Didcott. But look at this, the great dice going on for that second spot. And right now, JACQUES just controlling the pace of these riders. Doesn't look like he's too bothered because he's a mamba on the brakes, particularly at this last turn. Because the first race, remember here, this is where Smith was doing him on the brakes. Not this time around. Look at that. Can't do him on the brakes.
This is very impressive lap times. They've lost toe with Graham from Breda, but these guys are running mid to high threes. So that is so impressive on the track conditions that we've got. Jacques ACKERMANN still there in fifth place, and he's got to start worrying about the pressure coming from Johan Leroux from behind. And there comes Jonty Collard. He just loses a little bit of time in this first sector, it seems like. Second part and the final part of the track is where he really ups his pace and is able to get close. But by that time, he just cannot get close enough to make a move.
Stefan Uri Stocks has disappeared out front, not content with one lap record. Looks like Framaraz equaled that lap time once again. He really is motoring around this track at the moment. Look at the angle he's getting as it going to the hairpin, and he squares it up just a wee bit. Get on the power really early down that hill. It's pretty steep, but the camera flattens it out quite a lot. And just behind him, you can see that dice does continue. But this is a brilliant performance from Graham from Breda. Checkers, yeah, the checkers are going to be coming out on this lap. So Framaraz got this one wrapped up. We'll have to see what happens with that second, third, going up on the inside. JACQUES and Michael Schmidt side by side into that final turn. But we're just taking a look at Graham from Breda. Looks over his shoulder. Probably does a stand-up wheelie as they come across the checkers. Second place. Whoa, Michael Schmidt. Did he get past as they went down to that checkers? I think he might have robbed. Let's take a look at the official results as Graham from Breda waves at us. But also dicing all the way through the field. Looks like Johan Leroux lost out just there.
Yeah, here's the final results, and it is Graham from Breda. Michael Schmidt, as we expected, on the inside in the final turn, gets second place ahead of JACQUES. Collard just outside the podium in fourth. Jacques ACKERMANN holds on to another fifth place ahead of Johan Leroux, Teddy Brook, and RUAN Oberholster.
Everything went perfectly today, as per planned. Happy to get the new lap record. And a double win to end the season off is really nice. Big thanks to my sponsors, to Stefanucci Stocks, Kawasaki, Red Square, Bridgestone, Motor Oils. Thanks, guys. It was a fantastic year.
A brilliant performance in the saddle from Aubrey Marais, who picks up the Rider of the Day.
Yeah, first session surprised myself, went a bit faster. I think my fastest ever around this track. But yes, overall I had a good day. Yeah.
So for the final time in 2019, it's champagne showers at the TRP podium. Thank you to everyone for supporting us in the 2019 season. We look forward to a bigger and better and faster 2020 season with the Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup. All this ZX10 Masters Cup action is proudly brought to you by Red Square for ultimate activation.